Hi, and welcome to Cat Run Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today I have a comic review for you guys. So, Deceased issue 1 dropped today, and this is what happens when a virus attacks all of the DC universe. So, let's dive right on into it, shall we? First off, when we are first brought into it, we get to see Darkseid, because, you know, Darkseid's kind of everywhere. So, of course, a number of the Justice League members are facing off against Darkseid in this. And, you know, Darkseid being punched by Superman, being controlled by Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. And they're trying to force him out of their world. And they're trying to make it happen immediately. Because, you know, when Darkseid's around, it's kind of bad news. However, something really kind of scary happens. And that's when Darkseid not only removes the lasso of truth, but he also says that he's leaving because he got what he came for. So let that little, like, scary bit sink in for a second. So a number of the heroes are concerned as to what he meant by that, and that's when one of Batman's utility belt things sets off. And everyone's wondering, what is that alert? And he informs everyone that Cyborg's no longer on world. That he's somewhere else. So they're wondering, how do you know that? And he says, well, because he tracks him. So this deals with a lot of, you know, them just like, oh, well, did Vic know you were tracking him? And are you tracking all of us? It's very Tower of Babel-y, you know, if anyone's ever read that. But, you know, Batman likes to be prepared for things. Let's put it this way. So I do love Flash's take on this, where he's got like a million questions to throw his way. And we just get to see a little bit of a pregnant pause from Batman until he says no. So, Green Arrow's like, so anyone else concerned about that slight pause we saw there? But ultimately, Batman does tell the others that Victor is now on Apocalypse. So let me start off by saying that the art throughout this book was very distracting for me. It was very disappointing. But these panels in particular on Apocalypse are the worst in my opinion. It just completely took me out of the story. But Victor is currently being tortured for half of the anti-life equation by one of Darkseid's little minions. And he does believe that Victor has the other half that he needs. So there's this really unfortunate bit where Darkseid calls for Cyborg's tongue to be cut out. And it happens. Poor Victor. Poor Victor. Anywho, so Darkseid believes that he has the full equation for anti-life, and now he must summon death. So Darkseid calls the Black Racer, which, by the way, like, this is the worst kind of vision of the Black Racer I've ever seen. He looked so cool when Fabok did him a few years ago, but I mean, was it a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that? It's been a little while. But he looks horrible in these panels. I'm sorry, but that art's atrocious. Anywho, Darkseid does reassemble the equation with the use of both Cyborg and the Black Racer, and it infects him. So unfortunately, he created a virus which attacks not only machines, but biological tissue as well. So, as a way to try to save his master, Cyborg gets sent away by one of Darkseid's little minions before Darkseid goes crazy and kills him. So, of course, we see Darkseid is, which shout out to anyone who read Mr. Miracle, because Mr. Miracle was amazing when it was coming out. Darkseid was. So, Darkseid just destroyed Apocalypse. That's how severe this virus was. What is going to happen when Cyborg hits Metropolis? And that's exactly what happens. Cyborg, unfortunately, becomes patient 0 for the anti-life equation. And Cyborg does everything he can to try to firewall himself, cut himself off from the rest of the world. However, it already happened. And this is a techno-organic virus. It's basically spreading through social media, through people's phones, their tablets, their laptops. All of their screens are what is infecting them, unfortunately, as you can see right here. And when that happens, they essentially become flesh-crazed monsters. Zombies, basically. You know, techno-zombies, let's put it that way. So, currently in the home of Scott Free and Big Barda, Superman is trying to get the two to agree to go to Apocalypse to try to save his friend. And once again, horrible art. Let me focus right there. Mr. Miracle and Big Barda just look really bad right here, not gonna lie. But they do agree to go and to try to save Cyborg. And that's when Superman hears something. He hears screaming. So he ends up in Metropolis, where the virus has unfortunately already broke out. And in Metropolis, that's where his family is. So he instantly thinks of John and Lois. And currently in the apartment of Lois, John, and Clark Kent, both Damian Wayne and John are playing video games, and Lois is looking for her phone. So she asks the boys to help her, and that's when, the two boys have a little bit of a back and forth. John is asking Damian, hey, you're the son of Batman, you know everything, where's her phone? And that's when Damian goes back with, you got X-ray vision. So, of course, using his X-ray vision, John does find Lois's phone and is going to grab it for her, which, as you can see here, the phone is infected. Yeah, that's right. Infected that quickly. But through the window, Superman is there to destroy the evil phone and to save his kid. So he's screaming at everyone not to look at the screen, and he quickly destroys the television that Damian Wayne was looking at. And that's when we see inside the Batcave, and Batman's trying to figure out what's going on. Why is the world being infected by this? What is all of this? And he's finding out that it's running through everything. A phone, a tablet, a PC. It's going into time zones. Everything is taken into account, and it's digital. And it turns to an aggressive biological blood-to-blood transfer. And he then asks his computer, how many are infected? An estimated 600 million worldwide. And that's when he demands his Bat computer to shut it down. To shut down all of the screens in Wayne Manor. And there is an EP that goes through and shuts it all down, as you can see. So, happened. Back at Casa de Kent, Damian's getting a little concerned because his dad's not answering. And It's not like Batman. I mean, his radio's always supposed to work. And I really didn't like how Damian's being portrayed in this issue. Clearly, I just feel like they didn't take into account who Damian Wayne is, unfortunately. Because he's just so patient here, and he's just so able to work through and to take the word of Lois, and Superman, where the Damian Wayne that I know and love would be like, Psh, I'm going to go find Batman. I'm going to save the day myself, because he's freaking Damian Wayne. That's what he does. He's a little shit, but we love him for it. So Superman does tell him that it's going to be fine, because Bruce always has a contingency in place, and not even the end of the world would stop him from being able to reach his son. It's all going to be good. So back into Wayne Manor, Bruce is calling for Dick, Tim, and Alfred, and that's when he sees that Alfred is backed to a corner holding a knife, trying to protect himself from Dick Grayson and Tim Drake, who have unfortunately both been infected by this virus. Of course they would, because, you know, they're both very active, very social young men. But I do kind of love the fight scene that goes on here. This is the zombie bat family fight scene that we needed. Finally, a really bloody fight scene. And it ends up with Batman being scratched and bit and attacked, and ultimately screaming for Alfred to run. So this one page is the best piece of art throughout this entire issue. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I didn't know what we were going into, but a techno virus that attacks flesh and turns you into a zombie, I'm not so sure how I feel about that. I'm not gonna lie. But the art, yeah, I'm still really excited about this event, and I'm hoping that it'll turn around. But this first issue, it had a lot of issues for me. The way that Damian Wayne was portrayed was a big issue for me, and I'm really hoping that it gets better. So, yep, that is it for this episode of Cat Run Figures. Please do give me a like if you like this video. Comment below and tell me whether or not you picked up Deceased issue 1 and what you thought of it. I'm kind of on the fence, to be completely honest. I am really excited about the horror homage covers that are coming out for this. I do have the It homage cover already coming to me, so don't be concerned about that. There's also a Nightmare on Elm Street cover and The Nun cover. I'm not sure why they picked The Nun. All I'm thinking is that, you know, Warner Brothers property, Warner Brothers horror homage. But there are 6 issues in this, so maybe we'll get another 3. Maybe we'll get a Jason, like I Love Metropolis, and like Jason coming through and attacking Superman. Or maybe we will get a Halloween homage, or a Texas Chainsaw Massacre homage, or any number of very great horror, iconic horror film homage covers. Which, The Nun, I feel like it's just too new for me to think it's iconic like Nightmare on Elm Street. But that being said, please do subscribe to my channel for more comic book content, or check out any of the older videos I have for offer here on Cat Run Figures. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye!